He doesn't really care at all, he's dead now. What is going on here? I'd say rest in peace, but that might be a bit cynical. What is wrong with you guys? Can't I even walk? Can't I even enjoy peace and freedom on a graveyard?
I'm going to see what that noise was.
Come on. Oh, wrong way. Everyone is screaming murder, but there's no police and nothing. Nobody's really caring about it. It's like, oh yeah, it's murder. Things happen. New database entries. I'll look into that as soon as we are up there. Maybe we have a new landmark discovered, which I actually do hope for. Because this is... I know, nerding here, but this is in a way one of the interesting parts that you have the history so tightly woven into the game, which makes it, in a way, tangible. And let me see if we have news locations. Present day? No assistance until that's... well, that's not interesting. Lambeth. We have discovered Lambeth Palace. And you know what's going to happen now. It's quite hard to read, but still. Since the 13th century, Lambeth Palace has been the London residence of the Archbishop of Canterbury, leader of the Church of England. That's why this thing looks so churchy, kind of. It is for the church and of the church. The site's proximity to Westminster made it an appropriate location to house someone with the political and religious influence the Archbishop of Canterbury held at that time. Talking about the 13th century, so with a monarchy there is no differentiation between church and state, and so of course the Archbishop of Canterbury, as the most important Archbishop of England, had a huge influence on the king, and so being close to Westminster, very logical decision. The first archbishop to take up residence in Lambeth Palace was Stephen Langton, a key player in the signing of the Magna Carta in 1215. That's key as in a major figure, not a keyboardist at the after party. Oh, that was a bad joke. The palace endured damage and distress over the course of England's many wars, especially the English Civil War, which was never properly repaired until the 19th century. Before its renovations, the architect Edward Bloor called the palace miserably deficient. That's quite a judgment. Now there's a review I'd like to read. I reckon that. Notable buildings that make up Lambeth Palace include Morton Tower, which served as the palace entrance as well as the living quarters of the palace's guard. The palace library, which has been open to the public since 1610 and features records dating back to the 10th century, and the Archbishop's private chapel. And this is where we are right now, looking onto Lambeth Palace. And if we ignore all these highlighted items, it's quite a building. It's quite the setting here. Where's our leap of death? And yeah, with Westminster basically just one stone throw away. No unmark. We jump. Templar hunt? You know, a Templar at the church. Gear upgrade suggested. Ah, it'll work anyways. This is our target. Kill him as a true assassin would with your hidden blade. He's called Martin Church. As a Templar. At the palace of the Archbishop. Talking about telling names. He's level 5. Okay. Leaving territory. We don't want to. Alright. We have both here. Oh, of course, both are listening. I was hoping that one was just out of rage, but no. Oh, only she is coming. Damn it. I could have used that. I wasn't sure if both were coming.
What you hiding from, miss?
She's acting a bit odd, but still, this is London after all.
I like that sentence.
What you playing at, miss?
Alright, let's hope that it's again only one of you two approaching. Yes. That's good. Come closer. Oh! Well, he saw me. That's not so good. What are you doing? Ooh. Ouch. Well. I have to get her out of reach. And obviously we do that through the wall. So she's lying down here as well. Are we still in the graveyard? Yeah, we are. So that is fitting. They don't have to be carried far. Blighted territory. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 guards. We have a sniper on the roof. You have to get rid of the sniper first.
There was an hiding over there.
And what I actually do, I mean, the priests here are speaking standard English. I like that about Assassin's Creed Valhalla, for example, that the priests, as the Catholic Church, much earlier in England, were using the Latin language, while here English makes sense, given that we are with the Anglican Church. Oh. Where are you going? Oh no, don't come here. Oh. Come on, get away.
Not a worthy Templar, they say. Something must be done about it.
800 pounds. Good call going here. Another sniper.
I carry at my command, and now this? There's no justice in the world.
This bird was pretty fast. Sometimes you have this with games, also much younger games, that these birds basically move at the speed of like 2 FPS. Ow! Ooh. Evie really doesn't alright. Doesn't leave any survivors, I was going to say. So, we get up here and see if we can get rid of him. It's a bit too much of a jump. No, we can actually assassinate him. Are we seen when we do that? There is supposed to be a wall. But move away, you two, and then... we try that. No, that worked well. So... no.
Not a worthy Templar, they say.
What? Ah, wrong button.
Him.
Next time they move away, how close do they get to these leaves? Not close enough for an assassination. What kind of laughter was that? But we try. We try, and we'll see. It's probably too far away, so it probably won't work. And I can't whistle, because then I can promise you that the guard is approaching first, and then our Templar, and then we'll fail our additional target, namely killing with a hidden plate. Plate, yes, of course, with a hidden plate. That's exactly what I wanted to say. Hidden blade. You dropped your broom.
The very notion that a person of my status could be accosted in this manner.
They made me do it.
Do you expect to get away with that?
Did anybody listen? Did anybody hear that? No. Why does he have this guard? Can't he be walking alone as a Templar? Why does he need somebody following him?
The very notion that a person
Not a
of my
worthy
status
Templar,
could be
they say.
accosted.
Yeah, no. Oh, Jesus.
You have no business in this area.
Stop that at once.
Is he jumping over the wall? That would be great. I'd say this was efficient.
Check out where that noise was coming from.
So, if he comes here, we might actually succeed in our goal. Come on, yes. And he only has 8 pounds. What kind of a poor Templar is he? So, we ignore the rest.
Is nae a game for grown-ups.
Yeah. She's talking about games in a game.
Never saw her.
Meta gaming. We are leaving the territory, and we are safe. Oh, Henry Green now likes us more. Unqualified success? Thank you, game, for calling me unqualified. Viewpoints. No, I didn't lose track at all. So I'd say we continue through Lambeth with the viewpoints, that we have our fast travel and that we can get a bit more of the scenery. And I know I have a few skill points, so
Just because I'm over here, don't mean I can't take care of you.
we hurry up a little bit. Ooh. Do we have a gate? Yes, we do have a gate. Can we get... Oh, we can.
Go on.
I mean, this was as if it was planned. New database entry. I'll never learn pushing the correct button here. You have new locations in Lambeth. We are at the right place for our character. We are at the asylum, which is not far away from Lambeth Palace, but I won't ask any questions. So, the asylum, which we will soon climb. While Bethlehem Royal Hospital, also known as Bedlam, is the asylum most associated with cruelty towards patients, the institution had largely curbed this behaviour in the early 19th century following some shocking exposés. England's other notorious asylum, Broadmoor, opened in Berkshire in 1863, taking some of Bethlehem's patients in the process. Lambeth Asylum, on the other hand, was largely undocumented over the course of its short life. Patients are identified by numbers rather than names. How charming. And records of treatment administered there are vague. Letters and contracts of the time suggest the building was designed by the architect Arthur Hayes, his first and only project in 1850. A newspaper excerpt from 1851 tells us that Hayes was murdered in his bed by his own son, who believed his father to be the Antichrist. And now I'm not wondering why he was actually tasked with building an asylum. Maybe his son was some kind of motivation for that? Oh, a claim later proved to be inaccurate. The claim that his son believed to be his father to be the Antichrist, or the claim that the father was the Antichrist. Anyways, Arthur Hayes Jr. would later be admitted to Lambeth as a patient. That is ironic. He was a patient in the asylum his father had built because he killed his very father who built the asylum. Wow. Lambeth Asylum closed its doors in January of 1869, so basically 1 year after the game, and was demolished later that year, no doubt due to the death of their sole benefactor, Crawford Starrick. Starrick, we've seen that before, that name, namely on one of the factories. So, these are probably patients or guests. I hope it's guests and not the patients running around. This is, as weird as it sounds, but this is one of these buildings where I'd actually like to see what it was looking like inside. Because medicine is one of these things that has made huge progress over the last 100 years. Or basically even more than 100 years here. And it's kind of interesting as well as shocking to see what hospitals looked like in the 19th century, what kind of treatment was seen as standard and helpful. It's disturbing and fascinating at the same time. Wow, it's quite an impressive building we have here. Of course, with the non-suspicious haystack on the roof, but we take that for granted. But the building itself, pretty neat. And you see Lambeth, we see the chimneys, a bit more on the horizon, Lambeth itself. And it's also logical. We have an asylum, we have Lambeth Palace, so of course there is no factory directly here, but it's more, you have parks, it's rather spacious and green when we look around. And the factories are more over there in Southwark, and of course a bit outside here. So, if you could afford it, then you didn't have to live close to the factories. So this is one of the nicer neighborhoods, apart from that we're standing on an asylum. And we get closer to the factories again by moving over there, our last viewpoint in Lambeth. This architecture, it's amazing. All these details on the buildings, and also that they basically are added into the game. That's so nice. And quite a contrast towards modern buildings that are usually rather, let's say, more pragmatic in their outline. While here it really is about being pompous, kind of. Could you please move out of the... Yes, jump in front of the carriage. That's exactly what you do. It's not jumping away. Bounty hunt. No, no, we ignore that. Oh, market.
Gotta go.
Markets. Selling stuff. Oh, I should watch the road. What is wrong with you? That's a very long list. And I know that for London I'm driving on the wrong side of the road. We can enter with a carriage.
Here now.
I'm coming over and teaching you a bloody lesson. Why don't I rip
Don't even think about it. Medicine? Oh, I found medicine.
There's a bloody murderer!
I like how they run back and forth. So, if there is... Oh, I can loot him. If they're afraid of a murderer, then...
Murderer! Stop!
You said that.
Thief! Thief! Someone's been killed!
Yeah. Then if you're afraid of a murderer, then run away. Don't come running back and shout, there's a murder. And we're nearly there. One of these chimneys again to be climbed. And by accident we found the second of the 32 thingies. Jesus, what's this called? Music box. So let's synchronize yet again. And the interesting thing is we really have this stark contrast here. If we look over here, we have these very jump up here. We have these very functional buildings, as we can see, in terms of industry, so very pragmatic. And then in view we have churches, asylums, palaces as these decorative buildings that are not so much about being practical, but about showing off. This is about status. And just to make sure... No, we don't have any new here, anything new. Alright, so we discovered everything in Lambeth. So that means now we have seen quite a bit of Whitechapel, City of London, River Thames, Southwark and Lambeth. We have Westminster and the Strand still without viewpoints. And I know that our quest is here, but given that we are on our tourist trip anyways, you know where we have to go. Of course, have to climb Big Ben as the viewpoint. And we'll take a carriage, so should be relatively quickly. If I'm not distracted. So we do have a carriage, which we found miraculously, and then we go to Westminster. Hopefully without causing too much mayhem, but I can't make any promises. As you see, I can't make any promises. I could also slow down, but then our travel would take quite some time. What is that? What kind of navigation is that? This is worse than Google Maps. It's like, oh, you have a very small road for you. It's too small for a carriage. Let's use that. Here's my train save is full. I see that, dear game. But currently I don't care about that.
That's it.
I think of the best route towards Big Ben.
Gotta go.
That looks so... Jesus! It looks great. Can't I have a self-driving carriage, then I could look around better? Or if the kind of double-decker carry... Yeah, just... We have found a nice parking spot. Ah, minor damage. I am so sorry. So, Westminster we are. New database. So, Westminster. Of course, Big Ben. I think this, well, I think I don't have to say much about Big Ben, but let's say we know this as a landmark, but probably not so much about the history, so I'd say it's a good point of time to dive into that. And the usual drill, if you don't want to listen, just skip ahead. Charles Barry was hired in 1844 to rebuild the Houses of Parliament, which had burned down 10 years earlier. Welcome yet again to London Burns. It was decided that the new building should include a clock tower, and Barry enlisted the reputable clockmaker Louis Vulliamy to design the clock itself. Big Ben is the name commonly used for the entire clock tower, but it was originally the nickname for the largest bell in the tower. A bell which we actually haven't heard yet in the game, if I'm not mistaken. The clock tower is now officially known as the Elizabeth Tower after Queen Elizabeth II, because reasons. The origin of the nickname Big Ben has been boiled down to two theories. The first is that it derives from Sir Benjamin Hall, the portly commissioner of works. The other theory is that the nickname comes from the world of boxing. Heavyweight fighters of the time were sometimes called Big Bens, after the heavyweight boxing champion Benjamin Conte. Each clock dial is engraved at its base. The engraving reads in Latin, "O Lord, keep safe our Queen Victoria the First." And we are in the Victorian age here. So, now we do that, which I won't recommend doing as a tourist in the 21st century, namely climbing the walls of Big Ben. Not recommended to do that at home. Or once you're in London. And I think this might be one of the highest, if not the highest, viewpoint in the game. And of course we are climbing past the clock. Does it move? I don't think so, right? Well, I would be interested in seeing if it moves, but I won't be spending time here. Where is the viewpoint? Still above us, isn't it? It's also this interesting thing, right? You have all these ornaments, these crowns up here, but from down below you hardly can see that, but still it is gold, it is pompous, it is showing off. This is what this is about. Do I really have to get to the very top of that? Oh my god. So, I think the most, in a way, official, parliamentary, aristocratic view we get of London at the time here. And again we see that this is a wealthy area. Everything is really, really spacious. We have parks, we have trees. There is no factory, nothing polluting. Here, of course, pollution covers the whole city, but it is located outside, so this really is our political and cultural heart here. Question is, do I have a leap of death from up here? I could spend hours watching the city from above here. And I could also do that just to avoid having to jump down. But isn't it great? And amidst that, train stations, of course, as the new thing of the time. And down we go. Yeah. And nobody is shocked or anything. People jumping down roofs, well, that happens. We also see in terms of clothing, there is no one begging here. Clothing, everything is formally dressed, so really upper class here in this region. We don't have, as we had in Whitechapel, kids running around begging for money. Everything really is upper middle class or upper class here. So yeah, we uncovered Westminster. And I was talking about train stations. That means this should be our next goal, shouldn't it? Train safe is full. Yes, game, I know that. Oh, sorry guys. Just passing through. I mean, it isn't worse driving than taxi drivers in London.
Easy now. Go on.
Oh, come on. Can you go even slower? By moving backwards?
That's it.
What are you waiting for? Christ.
There you go.
Sorry. And here we are. I think I have to get to my train save soon to prevent the game from constantly showing me that it is full. I think I might have realized that by now. So, we first get up here, and then, looking at the time probably for this recording, the last reading episode. But then again, we have seen something of London. This is what I said, is basically... Oh, these roofs, it is so impressive. These metal constructions with the glass in between. It still, in the 21st century, looks so impressive. And we can climb that, of course we can. So, what I wanted to say before I was distracted by... Oh my god. Talking about distraction, before I was distracted, that for this recording, the last viewpoint, and with that we've seen something more about London. So it is a bit of, yeah, the architectural tourist tour that we make, not so much about plot progress yet. But this is what I said, what I was going to do. First, looking around a little bit, and by little bit, I mean freaking extensively, constantly staring at the same landmarks and enjoying that. I could say I'm sorry for that, but honestly, I am not. And now that we're here, one further reading for that, namely this location we are right now, Victoria Station. Here's some train history for you adrenaline junkies, in case you never wanted to learn something about trains. Now you do. As railway stations were built around the city, we've seen that on the map. Westminster became a desired location for the competing railways to control. In the end, Victoria Station was built in 1862 and made up of the two units run by two different companies. The western unit was owned and run by the London, Brighton and South Coast Railway, while the eastern unit was operated by the London, Chatham and Dover Railway. Each had its own entrance and was inaccessible from the other side. So not about passing through. In Oscar Wilde's The Importance of Being Earnest, Jack claims that he was found as a baby in a handbag in Victoria Station, insisting that he was found on the Brighton side, implying a social superiority associated with the Brighton station. This perception of the two stations is supported by the fact that the Brighton station featured an elaborate 300-room hotel called the Grosvenor, while the Chatham station had no adornments or additional buildings attached to it. Details like that are very important to babies. Not so much for babies, but important for the impression you want to make. That, of course, we have two basically competing companies. For one of the companies, the station is unadorned. It is just there. I mean, it is still Victoria Station. It's in Westminster. It is still important, but compared to the other half of the station, which is inaccessible from the first half, where we do have a hotel, this is really showing off. This is basically capitalism at its best, that one company says, we are better than the others, and how do they do that? By just building a hotel. So it's not about quality, about trains in time or anything, it's about who offers more luxury to the people there, given that we talk about Westminster and something that's called Victoria Station, after the Queen. So of course, luxury had to be there, given its location and its name. And yeah, here we are at Victoria Station. And we see again noble people, upper class, just from the clothing. I don't know what train they are waiting for, because seemingly no trains are coming right now. Oh! On the contrary. Let's quickly... No, come, don't get killed. What I'm interested in is... Do people... 1, 2, 3. What I would be interested in is to see if people actually get on and off the train. Do we have this much detail here? And that's when we look at when you look at trains, early trains, 19th century, but also 20th century, and you compare them with modern trains, there is, I'd say, some kind of decrease in luxury, that everything was a tad more noble in the old days. So I'm not sitting here telling you in the past everything was better, but there is a difference in terms of comfort. So, train is here. Alright. Nobody's getting off or on. Oh, shame. Was hoping for that, but I mean, even if NPCs were just commuting between two different stations, would have been interesting, but they don't. But you see how comfortable it is. Wooden floor or even carpet in a dining. Compare this to modern station trains in terms of the dining wagon. This is a whole different level. With carpet, with wooden lining. I'm not causing trouble right now, even though I would be interested in doing so. But also here, the seating, the cushions. We have post-delivery service. What do we have here? If the next station is yours, get ready please. Prevention of consumption. Passengers are earnestly requested to abstain from the dangerous and objectionable habit of spitting. Were people actually spitting from trains? I do have questions. Okay. But these wagons. Whoa! Game, what are you doing? Please have all tickets ready. Keep clear of the doors, do not alight from moving train. It is brilliant. And with that being said, let's, take this as our last station for this recording, and until the next train.